Hey everybody, Zero the Space God here, back again with another Out of This World album review. In today's review, I'm going to be talking about the fourth studio effort by Australian lads 5 Seconds of Summer titled Calm, which is an amalgamation of their names, whatever it is, Callum, Ashton, Luke, and Michael, out yesterday on Interscope Records. This is the first release since their departure from Capitol Records after releasing their 2018 effort Youngblood, which marked the band's complete sound change and really set their place in the music scene of today. It's the band's highest acclaimed album to date, and I honestly really don't see this new album taking that spot anytime soon, because this album is kind of a huge step down from Youngblood and the rest of its predecessors in many different ways. Five Sauce have taken a much more mainstream radio-friendly approach with this album, which unfortunately means that they aren't using their instruments nearly as much as they used to, and there's a lot of programmed drums and sound effects that we've heard on the radio dozens of times, but never heard them much from Five Sauce. Even when they went full-on pop, they were always using their instruments and kept the programmed and manufactured stuff at a minimum. Now, most of the songs just feel like filler radio tracks that were inspired by some of the most boring elements of Maroon 5 or Imagine Dragons, or even Charlie Puth, which makes sense because he helped write and produce the worst song on this album, along with helping produce the album as a whole. And you'll see that in the track by track breakdown. So, without any further ado, let's get right into that. Red Desert is easily one of the most interesting and unexpected tracks on the album. It features like a synthy, psychedelic intro before Luke's gospel church sounding vocals kick in and blend well with the instrumental. However, we weren't hearing very many instruments at the beginning, which made me scared for this track, but while Luke was singing, the light and mellow vibration of Callum's bass kicks in, and the rest of the group chimes in with their vocals, before a loud assortment of guitars, drums, and even the same electronic synths kick in to save the choruses and the song as a whole. This is definitely unexpected and packed a huge punch for this track and hit you right in the face, and it still kept the same atmospheric sound throughout the whole track without losing its touch. I'm going to give this track a 3 out of 5. No Shame is another 80s inspired summer pop track that talks about the struggles of fame and dealing with the paparazzi, but unfortunately don't get used to this happy, fun sound because this is unfortunately the only track throughout the whole album that we're going to hear it on. But that doesn't mean this track is bad. It's a really fun sounding track with loud, happy sounding guitars, especially in the chorus. The guitars in the chorus make it feel like a summer jam that you could blast while driving down the highway. And Luke's high notes are no joke in the song. He really delivers them, and it's really nice to hear them without autotune, unlike in 2 tracks from now, where they're completely drowned in it. I love the energy and fun summery sound of this track, and I give it a 4 out of 5. Old Me is a very different track for 5 Seconds of Summer in terms of its meaning and its sound. Old Me refers to the past decisions made by the boys and how they used to be widely shaped. I cannot talk. It refers to the past decisions made by the boys and how the people they used to be widely shaped the people they are today. The intro begins with a distant organ before the verse and the chorus kick in with a bassy R&B drum beat backed up by the same organ that's present throughout the whole song. I guess you could say that this is the sound of the band leaving the past and going into the future. I love this track for many different reasons. It's very mature and honest, and Luke is very passionate about talking about his past and the experiences he had with his friends. It essentially feels like a song meant for the fans who were there throughout the band's whole journey and all of their experiences. And I give this track a 5 out of 5. Easier is a song that I reviewed when it came out in July, but I don't mind talking about it again. Good? God, do I hate this song. It's easily the worst track on the album for many different reasons. Luke's vocals are drenched in autotune. There's no instruments whatsoever aside from the programmed synth and drums. The lyrics are so simple and unoriginal that the song was overplayed constantly on the radio, and the song fails to be dark and edgy with its dark, trappy new wave beat, instead being really boring and sleep-inducing. This is the first single that was released from the album, and it gave me such little hope for the rest of the album if every song was going to sound like this. And not to mention, the fact that it was written and produced by Charlie Puth probably doesn't help that either. The song is awful, and I give it a 1 out of 5. The only good thing about it being the pre-chorus where everybody is singing. On the other hand, Teeth is a track that I really did not expect after hearing Easier. Teeth is such a powerful track that's reminiscent of a lot of 80s, 90s industrial music, such as 9 Inch Nails or Depeche Mode. With how powerful and hard-hitting of a track this is, I almost feel like Easier was just released to trick the listener for what was about to come next. In the beginning of the song, we're greeted by a Stranger Things / Billie Eilish sounding bass line from Callum, followed by yet more high notes in the chorus by Luke and Michael's synthesized guitar, along with a heavy bass-filled drum beat that Ashton absolutely knocks out of the park. I love the raw energy on this track, as we don't get a lot of that energy on this album that Five Sauce always used to deliver. This is one of my favorite tracks on the album, and I give it a 5 out of 5. Wildflower is a track that I have a lot of problems with for many reasons. The one time a member other than Luke is singing on this album, Callum, by the way, his vocals are drenched in autotune, like Luke's were on Easier, followed by a general synth-pop sound that sounds like a cheap the 1975 ripoff, if you were to take the most boring elements of the 1975 and put them into a song. Not that the 1975 is a boring band by any means. I love the 1975, but this song makes it feel like a boring 1975. The song just doesn't feel like a typical Five Sauce track. It feels a lot like something that could have been on a 1975 B-side. This song, it just feels very out of place on this album, almost like it shouldn't be here, and I give this song a 1.5 out of 5. Another emotionally hard-hitting track on this album is Best Years, a song that shows a lot about Luke as a person and how apologetic he is for his past relationship. Judging by the lyrics, it sounds a lot like he broke somebody's heart and now he wants to make up for it by giving them the best years to make up for all the bad ones in the past. I love the message of this song and I love how hard-hitting it is, especially in the bridge, and I give this song a 5 out of 5. Not in the same way as a track I had a lot of mixed feelings about at first, but it actually grew on me very fast, and now I have a lot of good feelings about it. For starters, I love the way the song opens up, with Luke's vocals as the instrumental slowly works its way in while he sings, and then when the first verse hits, we're greeted with a trappy pop beat, which was also present on Old Me. The atmospheric reverb vocal style in the verses also sounds very similar to Why Won't You Love Me off of Youngblood, which is one of my favorite songs off that album, and I give this track a 5 out of 5. Lover of Mine. Oh god, Lover of Mine. This is easily my favorite song off of the album for many reasons. Luke's vocals in this song are so powerful and fluctuate range so much. You can literally hear the pain in his voice, especially in the chorus. And the whole song is backed up by emotional and powerful piano chords, and it feels a lot like the prequel of Ghosts of You, another incredibly emotional Five Sauce track, which is obvious from the lyric Dancing in the Living Room. Just God, the power and emotion and honesty in this track had me sobbing for hours, especially because I relate to this song so much right now. I give this song a 10 out of 5, and it's honestly one of the best tracks Five Sauce has ever put out in their entire career, and I wish that this song delivered on the rest of the album. Thin White Lies is a track that sounds a lot like Spirits by the Strumbellas, and I hate that song, but this song could be a much better rendition of it. We get the entire band singing on the song, which is something we don't see a lot of on this album. It's also an incredibly broody and self-loathing track, which is the angrier side of Five Sauce that we don't get to see much, and it's incredibly refreshing to see that they have a vulnerable side, and they're willing to admit the ways that they feel about themselves without being insecure about it, and I really like that. I give this track a 5 out of 5. Lonely Heart is a lot like Best Years. It gives off a lot of country vibes, but still with the same emo scream-worthy lyrics, except Lonely Heart feels like a lot more of like a watered-down version of Best Years, and in a way it kind of ruins the style of Five Sauce for me, and I don't like how cliche it is to other pop songs, especially with Heart in the title, because many other pop songs have Heart in the title. But anyway, I give this track a 2 out of 5. Last but not least, High is a track that I still think has yet to grow on me for a few reasons. I love that Michael is singing in this song, as he is the most underrated vocalist in the whole band, and he's my favorite vocalist in the whole band. But his singing can't really save this song. The song feels incredibly underwhelming and almost too bland to be considered a Five Sauce track. The song falls short of any good instrumentation, instead relying on more synths and keyboards to try and give it an atmospheric, more otherworldly feel, but instead gives it nothing more than a bland electronified feel that was really present on Easier and Wildflower. I give this track a 2.5 out of 5. While this album is incredibly underwhelming compared to Five Sauce's previous work, there still is a lot of emotions to feel and tears to be shed while taking a trip to this album. My biggest cons with it are how bland and processed some of the tracks are and how unpresent the other members' solo singing is on here. But other than that, it does have potential to be something great that could change the music scene. I give Five Sauce's new album Calm a 3 out of 5, maybe a light 3.5, and let's hope that they improve upon this record in the next one. Anyways, that's my review of Five Sauce's fourth studio album, Calm. I hope you guys really enjoyed this review, and if you did, please drop a like on it. Let me know what you thought of the review. Comment down below or message me on Instagram any suggestions you have for future reviews, and until the next review, guys, I will see you in the next one. Peace.